back to Technically F1. Sorry there wasn't a video out on Monday. A lot of stuff is happening, and it's the holiday season. And although I know I am missing out on a lot of CPM, sorry. You can't always get everything your way, can you? Anyways, hello and welcome back to Technically F1. Now today we're going to be talking about where I think the order of the cars will be next year. So at the start of 2021, sort of through the end of it, where do I think the cars will place and who will be wearing the championship? So let's get right into it. I think next year's Constructors' Championship will be Mercedes. They're going to win it mainly because of their engine advantage, because I believe that others will really catch up in the aerodynamics department. And I also believe that Red Bull will be fully ahead next year in the aerodynamics department, and McLaren will be about equal in aerodynamics next year. So it'll be really very close for the championship next year. But I believe Mercedes will come out on top just because they're the most experienced as of late with winning championships. But now on to number 2, which is McLaren. Now hear me out on this. They're going to have Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris, two of the drivers that are really highly regarded right now in F1. They will have a Mercedes engine, and they will be close to Red Bull in aero. Not at Red Bull, but remember, they have Peter Prodromou and a Mercedes engine, and that is going to be such a combination that they will be able to finish ahead of Red Bull next year. Now, why I put Red Bull in third is because I think the second driver of Red Bull curse will continue on, and Sergio Perez is going to have a very difficult year next year at Red Bull. I don't want this to happen, but I see it happening. I think he's really going to struggle adjusting to the car concept, which is very tuned for Max Verstappen. Adrian Newey is not compromising whatsoever when he designs a racing car, so I don't really believe there's any doubt in my mind that they will struggle next year. Verstappen will be imperious. He will win many races. However, I do not believe that they will be able to reach the championship or second place. I believe they'll be in third. Now, going on to the 4th place team, we have Alpine. I believe that Fernando Alonso will knock it out of the park. I think he could win a race next year. I think they're going to do very well with what they have. They have a Renault engine, which is getting better, and they have an aerodynamic concept that's on the up. At the end of this year, we saw that they could get podiums at aerodynamic tracks, not just top speed tracks, and I think they're on the up. So this will be exciting to see them do what they do next year. I hope they do well for their sake. The most toxic team in Formula 1 is, I think, what we called it on our podcast, Technically F1, because they were going to have Fernando Alonso, who's known to be very toxic, and Cyril Irritable, the most toxic team principal in Formula 1 at the moment. So it's going to be an interesting dynamic at that team next year. But on to 5th place, we have Aston Martin. Now, I think Sebastian Vettel could win a race next year. I think he will be presented the opportunity, and I think the car tuning and his setup will be very good for him. However, I think their reliability will continue plaguing them into next year. We saw reliability problems for them at the end of this year for both Lance Stroll and Sergio Perez, and I believe this is going to carry over into next year. Their car concept was originally Mercedes, but it's sort of weird because they stole it and they didn't have the CAD data, and it didn't work as well as they thought it would. They weren't able to get the 3rd place in the Constructors' Championship this year. They were only able to snatch 4th. So I don't think they're going to be anywhere near where they want to be. I think soon enough, maybe 2022, they could be a threat, but at the moment, not really. Now, on to the next team. Now, I'm very hesitant about putting Ferrari this high. I think even if they knock it out of the park with their engine next year, I still don't think they're going to be 6th place. I think Williams could be 6th place. However, to not be destroyed by the many Ferrari fans that we have on this channel, I'm going to say they're 6th place. Who knows? If they get a better engine for next year, then yeehaw, they're on their way to becoming a considerably better team. If not, they're doomed for the next 2 years because there's going to be an engine freeze at the end of this year, or 2021 at least. So they need to be really careful with what sort of upgrades they bring, and if they're caught cheating again near the end of this year, it could be very, very problematic for them. They reached a deal with the FIA, which possibly included some sort of incentive not to cheat again. You would hope that Ferrari wouldn't cheat, but if they do, it's going to be real trouble for them. Anyways, on to the 7th place team, which I believe is going to be Williams. They have the Mercedes engine, which is very strong, but also as I was driving it recently in Assetto Corsa and F1 2020, I drive their most recent cars and they just feel great to drive. I feel as though they're very close. They just need to set up their cars correctly for the race and they'll be able to get points. Think of all these times that George Russell was so close to a points finish when he just didn't get it. Like 11th place or 12th place. So close. He's just going to keep turning those points finishes next year. 4th, 5th places, that sort of stuff. And Williams will be up to 7th, no problem. Now, some of the bottom teams. I believe that AlphaTauri, who I have marked as 8th place, are going to struggle next year with Yuki Tsunoda. He's a great driver, absolutely, and he's only tested Formula 1 cars. That's the problem. Doesn't have that much experience. And although they did that test in Imola, I really don't think that he's going to have the experience to be able to jump in the car and be totally ready for the beginning of next season. I think that because of that, Williams and Ferrari will be able to get the jump on AlphaTauri and, sort of be in the clear from them. They won't really need to worry, at least I don't think. Bottom 2 teams. This is something that's very hard to pick, and I was having trouble deciding whether it would be Alfa Romeo or Haas who gets the honor of being the worst team in Formula 1 for 2021. But I believe it's going to be Alfa Romeo because, you see, they have very poor aerodynamics at the moment, and that can change overnight, as many teams have proven, especially Red Bull in the early 2010s. However, I think this is not really going to happen for them. Maybe they have a good wind tunnel, but I don't think they're going to be able to turn around enough. And remember, that Ferrari engine is not very good at the moment, and that's going to put them very lowly in the championship. But Haas is going to be 9th, I believe. Mick Schumacher is, I think, going to be the differentiating force behind Haas. Nikita Mazepin, I believe he will certainly struggle, but if Mick Schumacher can get maybe a points finish or two, that is what's going to keep them ahead of Alfa Romeo. If Mick Schumacher really isn't able to grab those points finishes, then there's no guarantee they're going to stay ahead of Alfa Romeo, especially considering how good Kimi is at making good things happen in a bad car. And that is just something we have to remember. We've got Mick Schumacher, who's the up-and-coming talent, a future Ferrari driver. But, again, you have Kimi Räikkönen at Alfa Romeo, who's so experienced and knows exactly how to get the most out of a bad car, that I think it's going to be very tight for the 9th place spot. But I believe it's going to finish like this next year. Now, if you did enjoy today's video, please consider liking, subscribing, and if you didn't like today's video, write in the comments why you didn't like it. This seems to really dissuade people from disliking our videos. Anyways, thank you for watching, but quick announcement before you go. The announcement is this. So recently, a save file for my F1 2020 game corrupted, so I've been trying to get footage back from that and stuff that I can just put in the background of these videos. But what that did was that set me back to square one on both of my career modes. So I have a question. Would you fine Technically F1 viewers be interested in seeing a Let's Play on F1 2020 My Team? I just set up the team, and I can start filming the races and the qualifying sessions if you're interested in that. So do drop a comment, drop a like, and thank you. Goodbye, have a great rest of your day. As I edit the video, I realize this is really going to age very well or not very well. So as the 2021 season begins, we're either going to hide this video or we're going to show this video to the world. Thank you and have a very merry CPM month. See what I did there? I was very politically correct. It's good on me, right? Political correctness in YouTube. What are the odds?